I love the smell of books in the morning. Oh, do I ever. Yay, books. Yay. Hello, everyone. It's a bit of a different episode. You have trouble looking into the camera, apparently. There's no script this time. You know how I work. I usually read from a script. So I think it makes sense. I'm not Mr. Ad-lib. And yet, that is apparently what I'm trying to do today. In 2012, a book was released on the German market. I'm still debating whether I should name it or not. We'll see. It is, it is a book, it still exists. Apparently the first reaction it got was so great that the author cancelled all promotional appearances. Now, that might have been a promo trick as well. I don't know. If you want to find out, ask the people who know. I don't think books are good or bad. I have explained before that whatever you think in these categories matters to you or to the person using them. It rarely applies to others. That doesn't mean that you cannot find people who agree with you or disagree with you. But I usually prefer to think in terms of, has this book given me something or has it not? Has the author provided some sort of insight or have they not? And if they have, I like the book, and if they don't, it's just another book. I do not like it because I cannot fault the author or the publisher for writing something that just does not have to do anything with my life, can I? This one here is different. My notebook is over there. I have already recorded an audio track this morning. It was about 17 minutes from a script, and I will not be using it. Before that, I had written another script, and another, and another. There has to be at least 3, maybe 4, even 5. I attempted this many more times, and I couldn't get it done. Or more aptly put, I wasn't at all satisfied with the results. I'm going to be curious what I will think of this one. My point is, obviously the book has given me something, or else I would not be talking to you right now, and I would not have tried around half a dozen times to come up with something meaningful to say. In short, I think this is one of the books that should never, and I mean never, have been published. Shouldn't have been published. I don't mean this in a censorship way. In fact, I welcome anything published because, first of all, I like books, newsflash, and I also think people should say what they want to say. This is the basis of this video. If I did not think that, I would not be making this, right? The book publishing process is not just the author writing, handing in the manuscript, and boom shakalaka, we're done. There's at least a lecturer or an editor or the same person. In this case, there even was a co-author. Then there is the chief of staff in the publishing company who sort of oversees that the book matches the portfolio. And there's, of course, the whoever owns it. There's usually a second reading. So you have at least 6 eyes. In this case, with a co-author, it would have been 8, overlooking the manuscript, and that's usually a very fair method to evaluate, is this what we want to say? Can we do better? And usually the answer is yes and no. Then the book is going to print, and then it's published, and then we get to hold it in our hands. The book was published by a person who was and still therefore is a public figure. Therefore, I think it is fair to talk about it. I wanted to say discuss, but there's nothing to discuss. It should not have been made. Because it doesn't say anything. It really doesn't. And it takes 224 pages to say nothing. And here we are getting into the personal. This is a personal opinion. This is by the saying the book shouldn't have been published. That, yeah, I can say as an author, translator. That's a professional opinion, but the nothing part is personal. There's it doesn't say anything. Whatever is in this book would be your classical. The German word is pretty the definitive. It tells you a lot. It's Klatschmagazin. That's why you essentially printed water cooler talk, but not highbrow water cooler talk. It's more of the sort of yeah, that I would get. I definitely would get why this would have been a cover story in so-called Frauenillustrierten, women's magazines geared at a female audience, of which there are 5 leading titles currently in Germany, with still at least 1.5 million going to print regularly. I think most of them are weeklies. So there would have been an audience for that, surely. But of course, these magazines don't tend to be held in too high a regard. So I could see the reason why someone would say, let's publish this as a book. And that's what it is. It's pages and pages of text. Written by someone who, roughly my age, clearly has not written a book before. That's not a deal breaker per se. I wouldn't say the person is a bad author, because I don't think bad authors exist. I've explained that before. But I think there should have been someone in her circles, family, friends, professional advisors, who should have told her, or at least put it to her somehow, that perhaps this isn't the best idea to move forward. Which brings me to my conclusion why the book was published. This person had a bit of a falling out with the public because their spouse had as well, and it just may have been a simple money grab. There's nothing wrong with that per se. If you want to go that way, then go. But the reports of the revenue for that person indicate strongly that they did not make more than someone of this caliber would. And this was a person that was one of the higher ups, if not the highest up. So for them to make as much money with their leverage as someone with mine, maybe they failed to report of more. Maybe the book did sell better. It still sells. It's probably not in bookstores anymore, so this would be online sales, but it's not yet sitting there dead in the water, and it shouldn't. It is a compelling read, but more as a, not trying to do the soapbox thing, as a cautionary tale. And with the cautionary tale being not the life of the person, or her spouse, or the entire surroundings, but simply of the fact that this should not have been published. Ever. They could have made a coffee table book. Those are always popular, right? They're not difficult to make. But apparently that was not an option. I thought about this, as you can probably tell. I thought about this for quite a bit, and I tried to come up with a reason why this went down the way it did. Was it a political assassination in the metaphorical sense, of course? Already grasping at straws here. Yes, I could see a scenario where a sitting, for example, Bundeskanzlerin would have tried to undermine a possible successor. But this is a really, really long shot, and there's, of course, no evidence for it. So, that is the best I could come up with. I am an author, after all, a writer. I have to look at the garden variety scenarios. And our species is not that interesting or inventive when it comes to these things. So all follow a similar motive: money, power, preferably both. You know, the huge. And the book is written in German. I am German by birth. I am doing these videos to attract a wider audience. And it's true, but it's just that my audience currently is somewhat smallish. I'm getting there, hopefully. And I tried my hand. That's why there were so many scripts at translations. What I wanted to do was pick any page of the book and just one page and translate it. Do that 3 times by a random choosing process. I just pointed to a page and then did that. And yeah, the result was as expected. The prose was very similar. The information delivered was of a similar nature, but as a translator I have several options, and that's where I failed, and perhaps anyone would fail, because here's the rub. My job number 1 as a translator is to translate the text. There's an original text, there's a target audience, usually it comes with language. Register, sometimes professional qualification, sometimes gender. Age certainly plays a role. And a professional's job is to cater to that audience first. With a book, it's somewhat difficult. Hence, a book translator has to be on their toes. Preferably, they have input from the author or the publisher or anyone. What is wanted? What do you think the translation should look like? There are also two polar opposites of translating. One is paraphrasing, one is metaphrasing. Simply put, metaphrasing is staying as close to the original with word choice and grammar as possible, whereas paraphrasing, the more common method, uses idioms from both languages. For example, here's one of my favorites. The English language has the children's game of Chinese whispers. Now, if you did what I usually prefer to do and metaphrase, you say in German, chinesisches Geflüster or chinesisches Flüstern. When no one in the English audience would understand, huh? If you, however, said Chinese whispers, and what's the idiom again? This is interesting. Stille Post. That's the name of the game in German. Sort of translates to silent mail. So Chinese whispers, silent mail. But anyone knows what Chinese whispers are in the English language, and any German person knows what Stille Post is. The French idiom is interesting as well. It's Chinese whispers, and I kid you not, is Téléphone Arabe. Yeah, I know. I'm reporting. I'm the messenger. I'm not passing judgment here. Yes, I do. But yeah, that's for another time maybe. So with that said, how do I translate a book like that as a professional? Do I slightly, as it is practiced, especially in political biographies, to maybe polish the edges slightly, adjust the register to a more fitting tone for a former powerful person? Or do I, as I like to do it personally, and certainly as someone who can communicate in two languages, do I give you the real? How would I even do that with this? I don't know. I do not know. As a professional translator, I would now, earlier, call the or write to the publisher and say how you want this done. If they're waiting for me to give clues, I would provide those and would get it done accordingly. That's not the issue. But I am not the official translator, am I? I am someone who was so moved by this book that this video has to be at least into minute 15, probably more at this point. So, what? I am coming clean. I am not translating it. I tried to do the Dr. Merkwürdig Liebe. Yeah, find a bit of a jolly, of an upbeat background, maybe with a slightly hidden commentary, as to the, as I perceive it, comical nature of the book and the author and the situation and the entire ordeal. But I am aware of the irony of the next sentence, but that would be making it about me. I also tried the garden variety Arnold was, when the person tells about something, the acting so poorly that is almost another form of acting. I call it Shatnering. It's a form of overacting that somehow is overacting, that it's suddenly not acting, but then still is. I don't know. But watch Hercules in New York, but watch the original, the 1970, I think it is. You know exactly what I mean. I'll do a video about that too. It's on my list. I already have a script prepared. Oh, you should definitely see that one, by the way. You definitely should. But in this case, it feels, using the Arnold voice, petty, really unbecoming. So I ditched that one as well. What to do? And then it hits me again. It's the title. Title is 3 words. And it just got to me that I may have, in my original attempt, translated the title perhaps not wrong, but I may have missed something. It's a cleverly chosen title, as is, for all its intents and purposes, the tone of the book. I think the choice is deliberate, and I think that is why it got published. It's a money grab that tries to paint a picture as best as the person can, and they shouldn't be judged for that, or condemned for that, that is. It's what they did, and that's why I think you should read the book with the clues I provided. Because the title, as I said, cleverly chosen, offers the preferred second level, which hints at that everything the author and that's you figured that one out probably by yourself, I hope. really were targets. Even the targets thing is okay, but they were victimized by the media onslaught in 2012. And the title reflects that one, again, cleverly. Because there was this thing went to court from the spouse, and the spouse was declared non-guilty, not guilty. That would again then point to this being or having been a smear campaign, at least, that it clearly is. Political assassination, I think, is again reaching, and I did not find evidence, and I think no one else did either. So, getting back to the point, those were a couple of tangents. I hope they helped. How do you translate the title? The article and the noun, not a problem. But that first word. Is it beyond? No. Is it outside? No. Off? Without input from the publisher, or at least the author. It's because usually the publisher makes those decisions. It's not the author who does those. I don't know. I couldn't even translate the title. In conclusion, if anyone's still watching this, in conclusion, I think you should rent the book at your local library. If you're a German person, if you're an English native speaker, you probably don't need to learn about this. Now, one more thing. If you want a tone, then think Hillary Clinton, former United States presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, running for the highest office in the country, accomplished person, intelligent, educated, reading the book in Valley Girl Speak. Now, I've probably Streisanded this. I made you curious. I'm aware of the irony as well. If that boosts them sales, because clearly so many people are going to listen to what this guy has to say, obviously. I think you should read it. To learn what books should not be made. And from that realization, you can take away something for you or maybe a family member, a friend, co-worker, to give a hand when they need it. Perhaps the author got those hands. Perhaps they had a support system that said, don't do this. I do not know. That is a question You have to ask them. What a book. Thinking of some more things to say, but I also had a video planned where I would just sit here and say nothing. And not self-indulgent at all. No, not at all. Perhaps one more thing. I briefly pondered doing that as well, but very briefly, very briefly. You see me as you do now, and you know me a little, you know what I'm about, you know my past, you know what I've done, translator, where I hail from, what I do now. Would you really be served well if I undid my clothes? Have you had a look at this? You'd probably watch it. Some of you would, others would not, with good reason. And not just visual. I know I'm overweight. That's part of the deal I have done with the universe, broadly speaking. And some of you would watch out of curiosity, and that's understandable, as we are inquisitive by nature, and that's a good thing. Others would think, oh, no, that for me. For a similar, out of a similar drive, no, this shouldn't be done. Or no, I don't need this. I can do without that. Click. And how is this package not compelling? Kudos to the publisher, but they are on my list now. Yeah, that's my stomach just growled. Thank you for your patience. If you're still watching, I had to say something. I also am not a fan of edits and cuts to make things look better than they are. So, if you know me, you know that by now. Thank you again. Be safe, be healthy, and I hope to see you next time.